this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. Hey, and welcome to the Short Stuff. I'm Josh, and there's Chuck, and there's Jerry out there, and this is Short Stuff. California, here we come, right back where we started from.
I love California, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's I lived in LA, but I love Northern California. I think Emily and I have designs on maybe even retiring there one day.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe. There are
What
people.
part?
I don't know. I mean, somewhere in wine country would be just lovely.
Oh, man, that would be so nice. Now, I saw this soap one time called Santa Barbara, and it looks real nice there.
No, Santa Barbara is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what happens with Ruby. You know, we don't want to. We've kind of pledged to follow her around.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to tell her how great San Francisco is. Take her there a lot, so maybe she'll want to end up in San Francisco, and then we can be nearby in Sonoma or something.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to love that. She's really going to grow up to look forward to being really close to her parents for her whole life.
We'll see.
She's going to end up a Republican in Michigan. Just you watch. Mark my words.
Yeah, she does have a Detroit edge to her.
Nice. So, obviously, Chuck, we're talking about California and where the whole thing got its name. And apparently no one fully knows. What we're going to talk about is an interpretation that's been around since the 19th century, but it's pretty widely considered as the correct answer. But no one wrote down, like, this is what California is named after. And some earlier attempts to explain it is that it was derived from the Arabic word caliph, as in caliphate.
Okay.
There's a Greek word called kalos that means beautiful.
Okay.
Right. And then some people said, no, it's after caliente, which means hot, and furnace, which means furnace. So California is a hot furnace. And everybody's just like, just go back to bed.
Yeah, California is
like,
rather lovely, actually.
Restart this day, man. So there's this guy in, I think, the 1840s or 1850s who he was like a amateur historian. He wrote a paper saying, this is where I think California comes from. I always said, this is pretty good, man.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. There was an author named Garci Rodriguez de Montalvo of Seville, a Spanish writer who wrote a novel called, man, I was doing so good, Amadis de Gaula, or Amadis of Gaul. Mm-hmm. And Amadis was, I guess, sort of an action hero of the time, and the book was really big, so much so that Montalvo wrote a sequel to the book featuring the son of Amadis, Lascergas de Esplandian, or the exploits of Esplandian. Mm-hmm. And this is just sort of a setup of these books and a very kind of neat little factoid that lies within.
Yeah, like these two books right here were like Tom Clancy and Michael Crichton all rolled together. Like they were huge. I've heard it like that.
Is it?
They were huge. Is it Crichton?
I've always said Crichton, but
I have
who knows?
too. Until just a minute ago.
Okay.
But I've heard it as Crichton. Let's say Michael Crichton. How about this? Let's say Tom Clancy and Laura Ingalls Wilder mashed together.
Okay.
Like that is the level of popularity that these books had in the early 16th century, like 1510, I think.
That's right.
And so we mentioned the first one because the second one is where California possibly comes from, or the name California comes from, because in Las Sergas de Esplandian, a lot of the action is the sacking of the town of Constantinople, held then by the Turks, by a bunch of different countries and nations and armies sacking the city together as allies. And one of them is a group of basically Amazonian women who bear a striking resemblance to the Amazons that produced Diana, a.k.a. Wonder Woman.
I thought the same thing.
But in this case, these women warriors were led by Queen Califia. So,
Califia.
Yeah.
Looks familiar. They were very strong. They had pet griffins, and they fed men to these griffins. So
yeah, their male offspring got fed to the griffins.
Pretty cool story, I think.
It was like the Scum Manifesto.
That's right, which you can find in the book.
Mm-hmm.
The Stuff You Should Know book, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So he described their homeland. Apparently, the homeland was called California. And if that's true, then that seems pretty straightforward to me, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. But the interesting thing is that's not really the end of the story. There's a lot more to it. And this antiquarian basically said, here's basically proof. And I think we'll take a break and then talk about that in a minute. How about that?
Sounds good.
Hey everybody, we're here to talk to you about Wayfair, who believes that spaces should be functional, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed, and they can be well designed by you with their help.
Your updated space should feel more comfortable, inviting, and practical for everyday use. And we're talking about outdoor seating. We're talking about grills. We're talking about major appliances. If you need storage solutions, Wayfair can help you out. Patio lighting, rugs, decor. It is your one-stop shop for home.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting nice out, so it's time to think about living outdoors for the next few months. And Wayfair knows that outdoor furniture, it's heavy, it's intimidating to assemble. So Wayfair has stepped in and said, we're going to handle the hard part so you don't have to.
That's right. You can shop Wayfair Verified, your shortcut to the good stuff. And that means their team of product specialists are going to vet everything by hand using a 10-point inspection, testing things like, quality materials, functionality, and features, and even how long it takes to build that piece of furniture. And the overall experience save time, reduce hassle, and improved convenience.
Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. So head to wayfair.com right now to get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey everybody, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tide Evo because it represents over 10 years of innovation and product development. Tide Evo is a first-of-its-kind technology where tens of thousands of minuscule fibers are spun together to form a 6 times powerful layer packed with scrubbers, brighteners, pre-treaters, and fresheners. And that's going to deliver a breakthrough clean that's so powerful it feels like magic.
Yeah, it is kind of like magic. Tide Evo is revolutionary. A 100% concentrated, waterless laundry tile that's made of compressed microfiber soap layers rather than liquid or powder. And it's not like pods or sheets because it uses 6 layers of detergent fibers to deliver superior cold water cleaning without plastic packaging of any kind. And it provides a mess-free, lightweight solution that dissolves lickety-split. So whenever you run into a laundry challenge, turn to Tide Evo. It's revolutionary. It's magic. Try new Tide Evo. Real laundry magic. So, Chuck, we were saying that in the book, Lycurgus de Esplandian, that they mentioned that Queen Califia is from California. That's the name of this mystical land where there are all these beautiful cliffs. The only metal to be found there is gold, and so all of the warriors under Queen Califia wore like golden armor, and while they were flying around on their griffins, it was just kind of like this mystical place, basically paradise on earth, right? And so when the Spanish showed up around the time that these books were at the peak of their popularity, we can assume that some of them would be familiar with this wildly popular work and the land of California that was described in it.
Yeah, and that they might have literally brought these books over. The Spanish believed there's an area south in Southern California, kind of like as far south as you can get, called Baja California. And I think that's actually Mexico, right? Or is that part of California?
It is. Well, I think there's Baja California and there's Baja Mexico. And I think there's just like the border goes right through it, as far as I know.
I've never been down there. I always wanted to, but Emily and I were so broke when we lived in LA that we didn't do a ton of traveling throughout California. We did most of that since we've moved, ironically. But Baja California, they thought was an island, just like the island where Queen Calafia or Califia lived in the novel. And so they called, these European colonizers called it California. They later learned that it was not an island. Actually, it's a peninsula. And Baja means Lower California, and then the upper part was named as Alta California, not to be confused with what we think of as Northern and Southern California. It was literally like sort of what we think of as Mexico and just California.
Yeah, and so initially when they came upon Baja, they thought Baja was an island, not a peninsula. They didn't figure that out. So they didn't call Baja California. They just called it California because in the book, California was an island as well, right?
Right.
But it wasn't until that expedition where they're like, oh, this thing just keeps on going, that they came up with Baja California and Alta California. And then Alta California just became California. That's what everybody calls California now.
Right. But it gets a little more interesting, too, because the word California goes back supposedly even further, they think. This book was written in 1510, but apparently the author of the book based part of it on the Song of Roland, which is a French poem written in the 11th century about Charlemagne in the 8th century. And in this poem, Charlemagne lists a bunch of people that he expected to combat him and come after him and rebel against him, including men of Africa. This is in quotes, men of Africa and those of Califerne.
Or Califerne?
Either way, Califerne.
Califerne is what the people in the Ozarks call California today.
Have you been thinking of that joke for the past day?
My friend, it literally rolled out of my brain onto my tongue.
Kudos.
Thank you.
California.
So you've got Charlemagne worried about Califerne, and people say, well, what is Califerne in this Song of Roland? And it turns out that at the time when the Song of Roland was popular, what'd you say, the 11th century, 11th and 12th century, I guess?
Yeah, 11th century is when it was written.
Okay, so people were very, very familiar with the town that was basically called Califerne. He was referring to, the author of the Song of Roland was referring to a real place in what's today Algeria, but at the time was considered the Barbary Coast. And there was there were basically fortified settlements that were called generically Kala or Kalat. And they often they'd combine that word, meaning today you'd call it Fort Josh, if I founded a fortified town. This is virtually what we're talking about here. And one of these particular places, actually a very magnificent, seemingly wealthy place, was founded by a warrior named Beni Hammad. Beni Hammad, not Benny like Benny Hill, Beni, Hammad. And he was followed by a group called the Beni Ifrin. And now we kind of start to get to the root of where California came from.
That's right. But Kala, I think Kala was just sort of a prefix for a lot of different places, right, at the time?
Yeah, the fortified town. It's like what we would say instead of fort, they said Kala.
Yeah, so Kala Ifrin, which could be sort of loosely looked at as maybe California, that actually crumbled in the 12th century after the Song of Roland, not too long after the Song of Roland was written. Mm-hmm. And I guess they think, what I don't see is the connection. I mean, do you think he lifted that all those years later for his book? That seems a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think so. This North African city, Kala Ifrin, was very, very famous, in Europe. The Europeans knew all about this. It was almost like a city of gold almost. It was extremely wealthy. So it's entirely possible that it survived, knowledge of this thing survived a few hundred years or kind of morphed into this a generic term for a paradise on earth. Oh. So this guy might have just grabbed this term possibly without knowing its origin. But then what's interesting is that got morphed into the state of California, and everybody forgot that origin too. So it's basically a famous North African city, was cited in the Song of Roland, which ended up in the Las Surgas de Esplandian, which ended up as the name for California, as far as we can tell.
I love it. I buy it.
I do too. I'm buying it big time. I'll buy it twice on Sunday. And since I said that, everybody, Short Stuff is out.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.